Whew. There are not many words that I could use that are YouTube safe right now after I found out what happened in that Duke-Michigan State game, but all I can do is show this little clip to show you how I'm feeling inside, because I'm not really much of a shower of emotion.
Top rim. How about this big time? Leave the chandeliers, put the china away with this guy around the house.
Yeah, Hokies say that should be outlawed as he goes right over Ty's back.
6, the largest lead of the game by Virginia Tech, and it's Jones. With the
How high can you go? Goodness, I thought that was going out of bounds.
Duke against Kansas.
Similar haircut, maybe a little higher too. Fantastic. Zion.
Blackshear.
Walker with a marvelous play.
Robinson. Oh, Zion got to it. At the other end, Duke pull up 2. Yes.
Same hand change, freeze him, and then a lingerie on the deck. But wait a second, the speed to cover, just extraordinary. Size, weight, keeping it alive to go the other end and ring the bell.
Yeah, that recovery right there is just
awesome.
It's down to 2. Blackshear with 3 fouls on Zion, who drives right past everybody.
They just can't play him with the fouls, much less the lack of foot speed to cover.
Jones.
There you go.
Thought about it, but this he'll take instead.
he thought right. Oh, pass inside, and Zion don't come from the help side. Dunks with so much power.
And chased down by Hill.
Get Blackshear to the block.
Switch off now. Robinson to the corner. Hill for the lead, and it's long. Blackshear trying to chase after it. Saves it with 5 seconds. Go a whole season on the line. It's Robinson. Back over to Allen. It's wide of the mark.
Wow. Oh, goodness. Here, Virginia. There's the lob.
The lob to Hill, and he missed it. Another one right at the rim.
So yeah, Friday started great. As you saw right there, Duke barely advanced. That guy Hill had a great game for Virginia Tech, but right there was a perfect play. He probably had to adjust a little bit because it was a bit too high, but they still had a chance. It went off the rim, luckily for Duke, but it did come with some accolades that they did get to the Elite 8, which they hadn't been in a few years, and then also they had for the ACC the most recorded blocks in a season, which is pretty good for them. But with just the amount of talent they had, of course they would be breaking records anyways. But also that there was a little bit of a questionable thing that would come to play later in the next game a few days after, was that Cam Reddish was a scratch, so he didn't play at all in that Virginia Tech game. And they said it was his knee, even though just right before the game during warm-ups he was jumping around, shooting. Everything seemed normal, then all of a sudden he didn't end up playing in the game, and then he also didn't start in the very next game, which I'll get into right now. But I think that definitely put a little weirdness in the team, and not being able to trust some guy who has been there the whole entire time, and then all of a sudden either not living up to the moment or something happened physically that we weren't known about for so long. But it's just kind of crazy how it all came up, and yes, I'll just get into that game right now.
After the high bounce.
Gotta give it.
Tillman up ahead, Winston. No one near him. And he's going to come out with it. And Michigan State is headed to Minneapolis.
Going to the this journey and making it to the Elite Eight?
It's been the most fun year of basketball I've had for sure. I mean, it's always been a dream to rock.
I mean, not at first, I was pretty much good. The big good start towards the end. Every time you guys got a lead.
You ever consider coming out, or obviously you played a lot of minutes tonight?
Not a chance, no. I wanted to be out there with my brothers. They don't treat me like a dude.
Obviously, late in the game, Michigan State didn't beat them. Obviously,
Fully. Now the Stars go the other way. 3 blue players waiting for them. Grayson Allen curls in the paint. Oh, and he hammers it down. That one was with authority. So down to 76-65 a moment ago. First time they've been within 11 since it was 34-23 back in the first quarter.
So yes, Duke did lose in the Elite Eight against Michigan State, a team that they probably could have beat earlier in the season when nobody knew how to play Duke yet. But once the months kept going by for Duke, it kind of seemed a lot more. You kind of understood what the heck they were going to do. Not really running much plays for certain players, especially in my opinion, doing the correct type of plays. But that's just Coach K and how he runs his whole operation. He kind of goes with 6, maybe 7 if you're lucky, players in the whole entire season, and then kind of rides them out until he can get them as far as he can. But really, that's why you have all these scholarship players. You need other guys to play. They did have size. They had other players to throw at Michigan State at times, and yet they didn't. They just kept going with the same people who were struggling, and then they didn't really make plays for those type of people that they're good at, running off screens or getting Zion the ball, especially with like 2 minutes to go. He didn't touch the ball at all, even though he did get the last assist, one of his last assists, which was to RJ Barrett for a 3 that got him up by 1. So I don't know. You kind of have to have it in his hands, not only for his ability to score, but his also ability to play make as well, which he's really good at. I just think they lost some luster there. That's why I kind of think, like that article said, why Coach K couldn't win with the best player he's ever gotten. Maybe it's time to go back to not getting guys who think they're just going to be in college for 1 year. You need to get some guys who are going to stick around, maybe not as talented, but will need time to develop, especially after this season. You found out both Cam Reddish and Trey Jones should come back, but if Reddish is considered a top 10 pick, even though he hasn't really been playing well, then he's obviously going to go, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure RJ Barrett and Zion should go, even though they were both pretty distraught, as even you saw Trey Jones right there as well. Just never know what these guys are going to do, thinking about their future, if they want to just head out or come back and settle the score to get back to that championship ways. But yeah, should be very interesting. Definitely a tough loss, but they'll get back. They have top guys coming in again, but it could also be the same thing again where they don't go all the way and underperform in everybody's eyes because they didn't get to the Final Four or the championship game. But either way, still a successful season. It's great fun watching everybody, especially Zion doing dunks, RJ making plays, Cam Reddish getting that 1-game winner. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully they get drafted high, and then I can root for them in the NBA. And yes, sadly again, Talanoa Hufanga, the sophomore safety, was pretty much a surprise. I didn't think he was going to be as good because they weren't really considering him that high because he was a two-way. He played both offense and defense, but he is a really great safety for USC, especially in his freshman season. But he did get injured, and it looks like he re-injured that same collarbone again with like another type of freak accident, which sucks. So he is officially held out of the spring, like how I mentioned in the last video that he might. And then I just hope that they either figure something out or is able to heal that up, because he is a very talented player for how young he is, and definitely has a bright future in my opinion, especially be able to make it to the NFL. Then also another young guy, incoming freshman, who's actually there pretty early, graduated high school semester early, and he's going through the spring practices, spring training. Keaton Slovis, the quarterback, and they actually said he's in the competition, the four-way competition for the starting quarterback at USC. It's pretty crazy. I think it just shows that a few of the other guys that were backups, I think it's going to be JC Daniels starting, in my opinion. And it kind of sucks for Slovis because he could either make Matt Fink or Jack Sears want to transfer after this season, or the incoming guy, Bryce Young, who's a 5-star guy, like top 20 some odd player coming out of high school next year. It's kind of like, well, why would he be coming if you have a good enough player in Slovis? And then Slovis is probably going to want to leave too for playing time, so it's going to suck, but that's just what USC has to deal with when you got that much talent. And then a point guard named Quentin Adlish, I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but he is a point guard from Columbia, and he's decided this morning that he's going to transfer to USC basketball. And he did pretty well for them, being an older guy, and hopefully he could bring some veteran presence for USC because they're definitely going to be young again. About like 5 freshmen coming in again this year, so hopefully he can get some playing time, be able to show them how it's done. And yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
He can't get that one to go, and LeBron sprinting out ahead. Oh my goodness. How about that pass from Rondo?
LeBron James! Right the last minute, and somehow while in the air, he found two.
LeBron James! Hello!
Boy, you talking about Statue of Liberty. Wow!
Woo. With authority, LeBron.
Really quick Laker news. So the Lakers have 3 wins out of the last 4 games against the Wizards, the Hornets, and yesterday against the Pelicans. Of course, they start winning when they're supposed to start losing. And we also found out that LeBron James was done for the year. The doctors had to convince him, but I think it's just best. There's really no point for him to try to push for anything and just be able to get healthy, go freaking work on Space Jam 2 already, get it over with. But also, Josh Hart had successful surgery on his knee. That's been bugging him ever since the beginning of this year. Kind of glad he got that out of the way so he can finally prove next year when he's healthy, LeBron's healthy, hopefully Brandon Ingram's healthy as well, and Lonzo Ball. And if not, then I think a lot of these guys are going to get shipped. Then also, they asked if Rajon Rondo would want to come back to play with the Lakers, and he said he would. I think it would be a good pickup to bring him back again. As a backup though, not a starter. I think he could be a good veteran presence for them. And then also even a guy like JaVale McGee, I think they should bring him back too, but maybe do like how he did in Golden State, where he's not playing like over 30 minutes, maybe 20 to 25, but giving you that energy and blocking shots, catching lobs, and alley-ooping for dunks. I think that'd be better for him. And then another G League guy that they signed to a 2-way contract. He's up for 2 years, and he could play in the G League or with the main team for the Lakers, in Jamario Jones, a forward. He did pretty good for the G League team this year, so they decided to sign him as of right now, so he didn't have to go into free agency. And yeah, looks okay. He did get his first points against the Pelicans, I believe it was, the other day. And yeah, so hopefully we'll see what he has and see what we get out of him. Yes, the Anaheim Ducks to get 2 wins this week, so good on them. Another team that should be losing, but they're not. Then also, they're saying that the Chargers were one of 3 teams very interested in trying to acquire Josh Rosen, which I said that they're probably going to do that. I think they should, just as long as it's not a first-round pick, which I'm pretty sure Arizona's asking for. Because then there's also another guy, another quarterback that I kind of like, in Clayton Thorson out of Northwestern. He's kind of like a runner, and he's a pretty good passer at times, but just needs a little bit more time to develop his passing and accuracy game. I just think you could get him later in the draft and not have to waste picks or even players on trying to get a guy like Josh Rosen either. But that's just my opinion. Then there's also a good handful of guys that they have in this newest like mock draft that they're saying that the Chargers could select. I think it is possible that most of these guys will be there, but some of them might get reached higher and get drafted sooner. But any of these guys I'd be okay with. And even like a tackle like Caleb McGarry, Christian Wilkins, who you guys know I've been high on, Nasir Adderley, a safety, Kobe Ford, another guard, and also Dalton Risner, another good guy to have get in that late first-round pick. And any of those guys I'd be okay with, and even some other guys, in my opinion, that should be there. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Yes, Linda is very happy because she does have Michigan State going all the way to the final. But I think I have at least one more team than our Final Four picks. So I had Texas Tech and Virginia, but I did mess up on Kentucky and Duke, obviously. But not too bad of a tournament as far as getting picks correct. But yeah, like I said, just an experiment I did to see if somebody who didn't really know much about college basketball would do stuff. And she was like probably 10 picks behind me out of the whole tournament. So it's pretty crazy. But like I said, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.